The desert stretched far in every direction, endless sand dunes glowing under the hot sun. For many years people believed that the ruins buried under the dunes were nothing more than broken stones of forgotten kings. Yet Aaron, a young explorer with restless eyes, had always believed there was more hidden beneath the earth. His heart told him that the old tombs of the desert carried secrets not yet touched by men. On this day, Aaron stood at the edge of a deep excavation pit. Around him workers used ropes and pulleys to lift heavy stones. Their hands were covered with dust, their faces burned from the heat, but their spirits were high. They were opening a chamber sealed for thousands of years. Some said it was cursed, others said it was empty. Aaron felt neither fear nor doubt. He felt only the pull of discovery. Beside him stood Myra, an older scholar who had studied desert writings for many years. She wore simple clothes, her gray hair tied back, and her eyes filled with calm wisdom. She was the one who had translated the markings on the tomb wall that led them here. Myra whispered, "This place was not built for a king. It was built to hide something." The workers shouted when the heavy stone door finally gave way. With a groan of age, the door slid aside, revealing a dark passage. Cool air rushed out, carrying the smell of stone and time. Aaron lit a torch and stepped forward. The flame flickered against painted walls, showing faded drawings of stars, suns, and strange symbols. Myra followed, her hand tracing the shapes on the wall. They reached the chamber at the end of the passage. It was larger than they expected, with pillars carved in the shape of rising flames. In the center stood a stone box, sealed tight, its surface covered with golden lines that glowed faintly even in the dark. The workers gathered behind them, whispering. No one dared to touch it at first. Aaron stepped closer. His hands trembled slightly, not with fear but with awe. "This is not just a coffin," he said. "This is something else." He placed his palm on the lid. The golden lines shimmered as if alive. Everyone gasped, and Myra's eyes widened. With great effort, Aaron and two workers slid the lid aside. Inside, instead of bones or jewels, lay a single object wrapped in old cloth. Aaron carefully lifted it out. The cloth crumbled away, revealing a flat golden tablet, thin like a sheet yet strong like metal. Strange lines covered its surface, curling and crossing like rivers of light. It was not a normal treasure. It was a map. The moment the torchlight touched it, the tablet glowed softly. Symbols rose like stars across its face. The workers fell silent. Myra's voice shook as she said, This is no ordinary design. These are not drawings of land. These are skies." Aaron held the tablet higher. He could see shapes that looked like circles within circles, dots connected by shining paths. It looked almost like a star chart. His chest filled with wonder. "This was placed here for someone to find," he whispered. "But not just anyone. Someone who could understand." Myra nodded slowly. "It should not be possible. This tomb is older than the tools we use today. Yet these symbols, they show knowledge of the heavens. Whoever made this, they knew the stars in ways our ancestors could never know." The group carried the golden map out of the tomb and laid it carefully on a cloth in the camp tent. The sun was setting, and the desert sky was painted red and gold, as if echoing the glow of the strange tablet. The workers gathered around the campfire, speaking in hushed tones, their eyes often turning toward the tent where Aaron and Myra sat studying the find. That night Aaron could not sleep. He kept staring at the glowing lines on the map. When he traced one of the circles with his finger, the lines lit brighter, like a path waiting to be followed. He felt as if the map was alive, responding to him alone. It filled him with excitement but also with a strange unease. Why was it hidden for so long? And why did it feel as if it was waiting for him? Myra studied quietly beside him. "Aaron," she said, "you must understand. This could change everything we know. If this truly is a star map, then it means our ancestors had knowledge beyond their age. Or maybe," she paused, "maybe it means they were not alone." Her words hung heavy in the air. The desert night grew silent, broken only by the sound of wind brushing the dunes. Aaron's heart pounded. He looked once more at the glowing tablet, and in that moment he knew, this was not just a discovery. This was the beginning of a journey that would reach far beyond the desert, far beyond Earth itself. The mysterious golden map had been found, and nothing would ever be the same again. The desert wind blew gently against the camp, carrying fine grains of sand through the air. Most of the workers were asleep after a long day, but inside the tent, the light of a single lamp still burned. Aaron sat at the small wooden table, staring at the golden tablet before him. Its glow was soft, yet strong enough to fill the tent with a strange warmth. He had been tracing the lines for hours, but the map did not look like any land he had ever seen. The circles, curves, and dots were too perfect, too carefully placed. Aaron's eyes grew tired, but his mind refused to rest. Each time he touched the map, the symbols flickered, as if alive. It felt like the map was speaking, though he could not yet understand its language. Myra entered quietly, carrying a pot of warm tea. She placed it on the table and sat beside him. Her wise eyes studied the tablet. "You have not slept, Aaron," she said gently. "You must not let the mystery consume you." Aaron shook his head. "I cannot stop, Myra. Look at this pattern. These are not mountains or rivers. These are stars." He pointed at the cluster of glowing dots near the corner of the map. "Here. They are arranged like the ones we see in the night sky." Myra leaned closer, her brow furrowing. She pulled out her notebook, where she had drawn charts of the heavens during her years of study. Placing the paper beside the tablet, she compared the two. Her hand trembled slightly as she traced one group of stars on the notebook, then on the golden surface. "It matches," she whispered. "This cluster is real. Our telescopes see it far above us, yet this tomb was built long before any telescope was made. How could the builders know?" Aaron felt his heart race. He knew then that the golden map was not only a relic but a key. Someone in the ancient past had known the stars far better than humans of that time should have. It was impossible, yet the truth was glowing before them. Myra turned to him with quiet seriousness. "If this is correct, Aaron, then this tablet is not just treasure. It is knowledge left for us. But the question is, who left it?" Aaron leaned back, trying to breathe steadily. The tent felt smaller now, the air heavier. He looked again at the glowing circles, noticing one mark brighter than the rest. Unlike the others, it shone with a golden hue, as if it was calling. "This one," he said softly. "It is different. What if it is a place? A destination?" Myra's eyes widened. "You think the map is guiding us somewhere?" "Yes," Aaron replied. "It is not meant to be hidden forever. It was waiting. Waiting for us to find it." The words filled the tent with silence. For a long time, neither spoke. Outside, the campfire crackled, and the desert night stretched endless and quiet. Later that night, Aaron carried the map outside. He held it under the starlit sky. When he raised it upward, something extraordinary happened. The symbols on the tablet aligned with the stars above. The glowing lines seemed to connect the heavens with the golden surface, creating a perfect match. Aaron stood frozen, his breath caught in his chest. It was as if the universe itself was answering the call of the ancient map. Myra stepped out behind him, gasping as she saw the light. The workers stirred from their sleep, gathering in awe. None of them had ever seen such a sight. The tablet was no longer just an artifact, it was alive with power, a bridge between Earth and the stars. One of the younger workers whispered, "Is it magic?" Myra shook her head slowly. "No. It is knowledge. Knowledge so far ahead of us that it feels like magic." The golden glow dimmed as Aaron lowered the tablet, but the memory of the alignment remained sharp in his mind. He knew then that the map was not meant to stay in the sand. It was a message, a guide, and perhaps even an invitation. The next morning, the camp buzzed with energy. Some workers wanted to leave the object behind, fearing it was too strange to keep. Others argued it should be given to the rulers of the land for protection. But Aaron stood firm. "This is bigger than rulers," he said. "Bigger than treasure. This belongs to all of us. It may be the path to something greater." Myra supported him, though her tone was cautious. "If we carry this forward, Aaron, we must be ready. This may lead us far beyond where we can imagine." Aaron looked out at the horizon, where the desert met the morning sky. His heart felt heavy with the weight of the choice, but his spirit burned with determination. He knew he could not walk away. The golden map was now part of him, and whatever secret it held, he would follow it. That evening, as the camp packed up, Aaron sat once more with Myra. Together they traced the glowing patterns, marking down every detail. One star system shone brighter than the rest. It was far away, yet it seemed to call to them, as if whispering across the ages, "Come find me." And so, the first clue had been revealed. The golden map was no silent treasure. It was a voice, and it had begun to speak. The golden map rested inside a metal case as Aaron and Myra prepared to leave the desert. The workers who had helped uncover the tomb were paid and sent home, though many left with uneasy glances. Some whispered that the map was cursed, while others believed it was a gift from the heavens. Aaron ignored their doubts. Deep inside, he felt the map was waiting for him to unlock its true meaning. Back in the city, word spread quickly about the discovery. Scholars, collectors, and even government officials came to see the strange tablet. Most only saw its gold surface and glowing light, but Myra stood before them and explained it was not treasure, it was knowledge. Many laughed, saying such ideas were foolish. Yet one group of scientists took interest. They invited Aaron and Myra to bring the map to their research base near the mountains, where new machines could study it more closely. The base was filled with shining screens, long corridors, and the constant hum of power. Aaron felt small walking through it, but Myra assured him this was the right place. When the map was placed under special lights, something remarkable happened. The golden tablet projected an image into the air, a three-dimensional star chart. The scientists gasped as the glowing lines stretched across the room, filling it with a map of the heavens. Aaron stood in awe. He saw clusters of stars, spirals of galaxies, and one single planet marked in gold at the center. It glowed brighter than the rest, pulsing as if alive. Myra whispered, "It is pointing to a world. Perhaps this is where we are meant to go." The scientists argued for hours. Some believed it was a hoax, some thought it was an ancient trick, and a few said it might be real. Aaron listened quietly, his mind clear. He knew the map was not lying. He felt the same call in his heart that he had felt in the desert. It was not just light. It was a path. Later, alone with Myra, Aaron said, "We cannot ignore this. If the map leads to that planet, then we must go. It is the only way to learn the truth." Myra studied him carefully. Her face showed both pride and concern. "You are ready for a journey that may take you far from home. But remember, the stars are not kind to the careless. We will need a ship, a crew, and courage stronger than fear." With help from the scientists who believed, Aaron and Myra were introduced to the exploration fleet. It was a small group of ships built for deep travel, not war. Their engines were strong enough to cross the distance marked on the map. A captain named Wren agreed to take them if they shared their discovery. Wren was a calm leader, a man who trusted proof over rumor, and after seeing the star chart himself, he knew the mission was worth the risk. Within weeks, preparations began. Supplies were packed: water, food, oxygen tanks, tools, and scanning devices. The crew trained in the ship's halls, learning how to move in zero gravity and handle sudden dangers. Aaron watched them with silent admiration. These were not treasure hunters. They were explorers, like him, driven by the unknown. On the day of departure, the golden map was placed in a safe chamber at the heart of the ship. The crew gathered around as Myra spoke. "We leave not for wealth or fame, but for truth. Long ago, someone placed this map in the tomb, waiting for us to find it. Today, we follow where it leads." The engines roared to life, shaking the ground as the ship lifted into the sky. Aaron pressed his hand against the window, watching the city shrink below him. His heart was heavy with the thought of leaving home, but his spirit burned with excitement. This was no longer a dream. The journey had begun. Days turned into weeks as the ship crossed the dark sea of space. Stars drifted past like shining lanterns. Some nights Aaron sat alone, staring out at the endless black, the golden map glowing faintly beside him. Each time he looked at the marked planet, he felt a strange pull, as if something was waiting for him there. Myra spent her nights studying the symbols further. She discovered faint lines hidden in the glow, almost invisible to the eye. "These are warnings," she told Aaron. "The map is not only a guide. It is also a message of caution. Whoever built this wanted us to find the world, but they also wanted us to be careful." Aaron listened, but his determination did not weaken. If danger lies ahead, then it means the place holds something powerful. We must face it. One night, as the crew gathered in the main hall, the captain announced, "We are close. The scanners have found a planet ahead. Its deserts shine gold, just as the map showed." The crew cheered softly, though their voices were filled with nervous wonder. Aaron felt his heart leap. The stars outside shifted, and ahead, he saw a faint golden glow. The planet was real. The golden map had spoken true, and their long journey was about to reach its first great test. The ship glided through the quiet sea of space, its engines humming softly as the crew gathered near the observation deck. Beyond the thick glass windows, the planet grew larger with every passing moment. It was unlike anything they had seen before. Golden deserts stretched across its surface, reflecting sunlight in long, shimmering waves. Dark ridges and glittering towers rose from the sands, as if the land itself was made of crystal. Aaron pressed his hand against the glass, his eyes wide with awe. "It looks alive," he whispered. The planet seemed to glow, not with fire but with a steady light, like a lantern in the dark. Myra stood beside him, silent for a long time. Her mind raced with questions. "This is no ordinary world," she said at last. It shines too brightly. Nature does not build towers shaped so perfectly. This place was crafted. The captain, Rin, gave the order to orbit the planet first. We will not rush in blindly, he told the crew. We must study the surface before we land. The scanners revealed strange details. There were no oceans, no rivers, no clear signs of forests. Yet beneath the sands, the machines picked up hollow spaces, massive caverns stretching for miles. The planet seemed empty on the outside but alive on the inside. The crew exchanged uneasy glances. When Aaron carried the golden map to the control deck, the symbols on its surface glowed stronger than before. One circle pulsed brighter, matching the position of the planet below. Suddenly, a line of golden light stretched across the map, pointing to a single location on the surface of a vast desert plain with a cluster of crystal towers. "It is guiding us there," Aaron said. His voice shook, not with fear, but with wonder. "The map is showing us the door." Rin nodded and gave the command to prepare for landing. The ship broke through the thin clouds and descended slowly, stirring up waves of golden dust as it touched the surface. The ground was silent. No winds blew, no voices echoed. Only the crunch of boots in the sand filled the air as the crew stepped outside. The crystal towers loomed above them, tall and sharp, their edges glowing faintly as if holding trapped sunlight. The silence was heavy, pressing on their hearts. It felt less like a dead world and more like a place holding its breath. Myra bent down to study the ground. The sand was warm, humming faintly when touched, like hidden energy flowing beneath it. "This planet still lives," she murmured. "It is not abandoned. It is sleeping." Aaron carried the golden map ahead. Each step he took seemed to wake the towers. Faint lights rippled across their surfaces, responding to his presence. The crew followed carefully, their hands resting on their belts, not in fear of enemies but in respect for the unknown. They reached a massive archway carved into the base of the tallest tower. Its door was sealed with smooth golden stone, without cracks or handles. For a moment, the crew thought it could never be opened. But when Aaron lifted the map and held it forward, the symbols on its surface blazed with light. The door answered. Lines of gold spread across its surface, glowing brighter until the whole archway shone like the sun. Then, with a deep rumble, the stone parted and slid open, revealing a dark passage leading into the heart of the planet. The crew stood frozen, their breaths caught in their throats. It was Myra who spoke first. "It was waiting for us. Or perhaps only for you, Aaron." With careful steps, they entered. The air inside was cool, carrying the faint scent of metal and stone. Lights awakened along the walls, glowing softly as they walked, guiding them deeper. The silence here was different, not empty but expectant, like a hall waiting for its guests to arrive. They reached a chamber larger than any they had seen before. Pillars rose high, holding a ceiling that shimmered with golden designs. In the center stood a round platform, carved with the same star patterns that covered the map. The floor glowed under their feet as Aaron stepped onto it, the map still in his hands. Suddenly, the chamber came alive. Golden light shot upward from the floor, filling the air with a three-dimensional vision of the stars. The galaxy stretched around them, glowing brighter than any telescope could show. And at the heart of it all was the same golden planet where they now stood. The crew gasped, their voices hushed with awe. They were standing inside a place built by knowledge far beyond human hands. Myra whispered, "This is not a ruin. This is a library. A record left behind for us to find." Aaron's heart pounded. He looked around at the glowing walls and the endless map of stars. For the first time, he realized the truth: the tomb in the desert had not just hidden treasure. It had hidden a doorway. And that doorway had led them here, to a silent planet carrying the voice of an ancient power. The silence was no longer empty. It was full of meaning. The planet had spoken, and humanity was listening. The chamber glowed with soft golden light. Stars floated above the crew, hanging in the air like lanterns. Every man and woman stood silent, their eyes wide, their breath held. It was not a machine they understood, not a map they could read easily. It was something greater, a message written across the sky itself. Aaron held the golden tablet tightly. The lines on its surface pulsed with the same rhythm as the glowing chamber. It was as if both were alive, speaking the same language. His heart beat fast, and for a moment he forgot the others. He stepped forward onto the central platform, raising the map higher. The stars in the room shifted. The glowing shapes moved, circling around until they formed an image in the air. It was not just stars anymore. It was a world. The golden planet itself appeared above them, shining with warmth. Around it, lines of light formed into shapes: tall figures with long hands, faces hidden but graceful, watching silently. The crew gasped. Then came the voice. It was not spoken in any tongue they knew, but somehow every person understood. The sound was deep and calm, echoing through the chamber without need for speakers. The words carried meaning straight into their minds: we gave this world to those who would come after us. If you stand here, then you are our children. You are the ones we waited for. The crew stood frozen. Myra covered her mouth with her hand, tears forming in her eyes. Children, they are calling us their children, she whispered. Aaron felt his knees weaken. He was no longer just holding a treasure. He was holding a legacy, a bridge between ages. It means, he said softly, we are not alone. We never were. The golden figures in the air moved again. New images appeared: tall towers, ships shaped like wings, and beams of light spreading across the stars. Then those same images dimmed, replaced by darkness. The figures faded, leaving behind only the glowing planet. The voice returned, heavy with sorrow, we left because our time ended. But we left behind gifts. To guide you. To protect you. To remind you of the stars. Use them with care, for what builds can also break. What heals can also harm. The message ended with a final image, the golden tablet itself. It shone brighter than the stars, as if telling them that the map was the key to everything that remained. Then the chamber grew still. The stars faded, the walls dimmed, and only the faint glow of the platform remained. For a long time no one spoke. The weight of the message hung heavy in their hearts. It was Myra who finally broke the silence. They left this for us. Not just for us to admire, but to use. They wanted us to grow, not to fear. Yet they also warned us. If we are careless, what they gave us could destroy us. Rin, the captain, crossed his arms. His voice was steady but low. If this is true, then we stand at the edge of something far greater than ourselves. We could carry this power back to Earth, but what would it do to our people? Would it unite them, or would it divide them? The crew murmured softly, the weight of his question clear to all. Aaron looked down at the golden map in his hands. It was warm, as though alive, as though listening. He thought of the tomb in the desert, of the long journey across the stars, and of the message they had just heard. It was not chance that brought them here. It was destiny. We cannot hide this, Aaron said firmly. His voice carried strength now. The world must know. Humanity must know where we came from. This map is not mine, it is not yours, it belongs to all of us. If they called us their children, then we must live worthy of that name. Myra looked at him with both pride and worry. She knew he was right, yet she feared what humans might do with such power. Still, she also knew that hiding the truth would be worse. Secrets always grew into fear. Knowledge, at least, offered a chance for wisdom. Before leaving the chamber, Aaron walked once more to the center. He placed his palm flat against the glowing floor. For a brief moment, light spread again, showing him one last image, a path of stars leading outward, further than the eye could follow. He felt it deep inside, this was only the beginning. The crew turned and walked back through the silent passage, their hearts heavy but their spirits burning with wonder. When they stepped outside, the golden towers still shimmered softly, as if bowing farewell. The planet remained quiet, but it no longer felt empty. It felt like a guardian watching them leave. Back on the ship, the crew gathered around the map. Myra wrote notes quickly, recording every word of the message, every image they had seen. Ren gave the order to prepare for return, but his eyes showed unease. He knew their journey was not ending. It was only moving to a new stage. As the engines roared and the ship lifted off the silent planet, Aaron stood at the window, the golden map held close to his chest. He whispered to himself, "They called us children. Now it is time to prove we are ready." The planet shrank behind them, glowing faintly in the black sea of space. The map glimmered in his hands, its light steady and strong. The message was clear, humanity had been chosen, and their path to the stars had just begun. The chamber was larger than any place Aaron had seen before. The air felt alive, as if every breath carried an energy that touched the heart. The walls shone with golden light, not from torches or lamps but from the stones themselves. At the center stood a crystal sphere, floating above a pedestal. It pulsed softly, like a beating heart. Aaron held the golden map tightly in his hand. The moment he stepped closer, the sphere glowed brighter, responding to him. Myra, standing beside him, whispered, "This is not only history. This is power. Something left here for a reason." The crew walked slowly around the chamber. The sphere lit their faces, filling their eyes with wonder. Some felt fear, some felt hope. One of the younger explorers said, "Could this be a machine?" Myra shook her head. "Not just a machine. It is more like an energy source. It has been alive for thousands of years, waiting for us." Aaron reached out, and the golden map floated from his hand as if guided by unseen hands. It touched the sphere, and in that instant, the room came alive. Symbols danced in the air. Pictures appeared showing stars, planets, and ships. It was as if the past and future were being painted before their eyes. The explorers gasped. They saw images of beings tall and graceful, with eyes full of light. These beings worked beside early humans, teaching them how to shape tools, how to read the sky, how to survive. Then the images showed the beings leaving, placing the golden map inside the tomb. The last picture showed Earth itself glowing in their hands, as if they were giving it away. "This is proof," Myra said with awe. "They came to Earth long ago. They gave knowledge and then left, trusting humans to grow." The sphere changed again. Now it showed ships powered by light, moving faster than any human vessel. It showed walls of energy protecting worlds, and it showed the golden sphere at the center, like the heart of all power. One of the crew members whispered, "If we bring this to Earth, it can change everything. No more fuel shortages, no more limits to travel." We could reach the stars with this. But Myra frowned. Or it can destroy us. Knowledge is a gift, but it can also be a danger. If leaders fight for this, wars could begin. If hands that seek control use it, the world will suffer. Her words weighed heavy on everyone. The chamber felt colder, even though the golden light never dimmed. Aaron looked at the sphere, then at his crew. He thought about his long journey from the tomb in the desert to this planet of crystal towers. He thought about the message they had seen earlier: if you are human, then you are our children. The beings had trusted humanity. Now it was humanity's turn to prove worthy. He spoke firmly. We cannot leave this here forever. Others may find it, and they may not respect it. But we cannot misuse it either. We must take it home, not for power, but for unity. This is a chance for humans to stand together, not fight each other. The crew listened. Some nodded, some stayed silent, but none argued. They all felt the truth in his words. Myra sighed. If you take this step, Aaron, you carry a heavy responsibility. You will be the one who gives this gift to humanity. People will listen, but some will resist. Are you ready for that? Aaron looked at the golden sphere, glowing brighter as if hearing every word. Yes. If they left this for us, then it is meant to guide us. We cannot turn away. The golden map returned to his hand, and the sphere dimmed to a soft glow. The chamber's symbols faded one by one, as if the room had gone back to sleep. But the energy within the sphere remained alive, waiting. Together, the crew carried the sphere back to their ship. As they left the ruins, the golden doors closed behind them, sealing the planet's secrets once more. From space, the golden world looked calm, shining quietly under its star. The explorers knew they had taken something that could change all of human history. It was not only treasure or knowledge, it was power, the kind that could build or break civilizations. As their ship prepared for the long journey home, Myra stood by the window and whispered, "May humanity choose wisely." Aaron stood beside her, holding the golden map close to his chest. He was no longer just an explorer. He had become a keeper of the past and the guide of a possible future. The ship rose higher, leaving the golden world behind. Ahead lay Earth, waiting for the gift of light. The crew knew their mission was no longer about discovery. It was about choice, the choice that would define the destiny of all humankind. The journey back to Earth felt longer than the journey out. The crew carried with them not only the golden map but also the glowing sphere of energy. It rested inside a protected chamber of their ship, pulsing gently like a heart. Sometimes, when the corridors were silent, the crew could hear a faint hum from it, as if the sphere was alive and waiting. Aaron spent most of his time staring at the stars. He wondered how humans would react when they saw this gift from the past. Would they welcome it, or would they fight over it? He had no clear answer. Myra often joined him. She never spoke much, but her eyes showed both pride and worry. When the ship finally reached Earth, word of their discovery spread faster than light. Leaders, scientists, and common people all wanted to know what the crew had brought back. Crowds gathered near the landing site, waving flags, holding banners, and calling out the names of the explorers. For the first time in years, people were united in curiosity and hope. The golden sphere was carried into a great hall where leaders of many nations had gathered. The crew stood before them, tired from the long journey but filled with purpose. The sphere glowed brighter in the presence of so many humans, as if it could feel their attention. One leader stood up and asked, "What is this? A weapon? A source of wealth? Why should we trust you with it?" Aaron stepped forward. His voice was calm but strong. This is not a weapon. It is a gift from those who came before us. They trusted humans to inherit the stars. This sphere holds energy beyond anything we know. With it, ships can travel far. With it, cities can shine without end. But it is also dangerous, because greed can turn it into a tool of destruction. The choice is ours. We can fight over it, or we can guard it together. The hall was silent for a moment. Then voices rose, some supporting, some doubting. One leader argued, if we share it, no one will control it. It will bring chaos. Another leader replied, if one nation keeps it, the others will fall into fear and conflict. We must share it, or we will destroy ourselves. The debate lasted for hours. Outside, people across the world waited for the decision. The golden sphere continued to hum, its light filling the hall with warmth, as if reminding everyone that it was watching too. Myra spoke at last, her voice clear and steady. This is not only about energy. It is about trust. Those who left this behind believed in humans. If we cannot prove ourselves worthy, then perhaps we do not deserve it. We must protect it together, not as many nations, but as one humanity. Her words touched many hearts. Slowly, the arguments softened. The leaders began to see the truth. The golden sphere was not meant for division but for unity. At last, they agreed to form a council of nations, where no single country could claim ownership. The sphere would be kept in a secure place, studied carefully, and used only when all agreed. It would be guarded by people from every part of the world. For the first time, humanity stood together for something greater than borders and pride. When the decision was announced, people cheered across Earth. Cities lit candles and lights in celebration. Children pointed at the sky, dreaming of ships that would one day fly among the stars. Hope filled the air like a fresh wind. That night, Aaron returned to the quiet room where the sphere was kept. It pulsed softly, glowing golden in the dark. He placed the golden map beside it. For a moment, both objects shone together, and Aaron felt a warmth in his chest. He whispered, "We made the choice. We will not fail you." Myra entered the room and stood beside him. She smiled faintly. The future is open now. The map was not the end. It was the beginning. Aaron nodded. He thought about the beings who had left the gift behind. Perhaps they were watching, somewhere among the stars. Perhaps they were waiting to see if humans would rise or fall. The next morning, work began. Scientists studied the sphere, trying to learn its secrets. Engineers dreamed of ships powered by its light. Teachers spoke of a new age of exploration, where humans would reach beyond the moon and Mars to the farthest stars. And ordinary people felt pride, knowing that the golden map had proven something, that humanity was ready. As Aaron looked out at the rising sun, he felt no fear. The path ahead would not be easy. There would still be struggles, mistakes, and temptations. But the golden sphere had given humans more than power. It had given them a choice, and they had chosen unity. For the first time in history, the stars did not feel unreachable. They felt like a promise. Aaron closed his eyes and whispered to himself, "The tomb gave us the map led us to the gift, and the gift has given us hope. Now the future belongs to us." And so began a new chapter for humankind, born not from war or conquest, but from a choice of trust and unity. The mysterious golden map had tested them, and they had passed. The stars now waited, and humanity was ready to walk among them.